Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am your science teacher, and in the previous lectures we have discussed chapter number 7 in detail. We have discussed water forms, the uses of water, and the water present all over the world. In today's topic I am going to start the water treatment process. The water treatment is basically a process in which the water is pumped from the reservoir or the storage tank into a treatment plant. The water passes through a huge strainers which filter the large particles from the water, because we all know that water must consist of the large and small particles. So the strainers present in the water treatment plant, it filter the larger particles from the water. So there are several steps for treatment of water. Several stages include in the water treatment process. Number 1 is the coagulation. Number 2 is the sedimentation. Number 3 is the filtration. Number 4 is the chlorination, and number 5 is the storage. Now you can see on the screen the water then passes from the steam into the coagulation unit. From the coagulation unit the water passes into the sedimentation unit, and from the sedimentation unit the water passes to the filtration unit. From the filtration unit the water passes to the disinfection unit, and from the disinfection unit the water passes into the storage tank. Now the first unit or first process is coagulation. At the treatment plant the water is mixed with the alum. Alum is basically a chemical compound made up of aluminum sulfate and lime. The alum and lime make the tiny suspendicle particles of the clay stick together. If any of the suspended particles present in the water, the alum and the lime make the tiny suspended particles of the clay stick together. Alum is basically a chemical compound of aluminum potassium sulfate, and alum is used in the water purification process. Now you can see on the screen there is a diagram of the alum, the chemical compound of aluminum sulfate. Lime is basically the aqueous solution of calcium hydroxide. Number 2 process is the sedimentation. Sedimentation is the process or the unit, and it is the physically water treatment process to remove if any of the suspended solids present in a water. The water goes into the sedimentation tank where the particles sink to the bottom of the tank and from which they are removed. So by the action of the lime and the alum, the particles sink faster into the sedimentation unit. The next step is the filtration. After the sedimentation process, the water passes into the filtration unit. The water is passed through a filter beds of sand and gravel. This filtration tank is basically made up of sand and gravel. So this tank removes the small particles of the dirt if any present in the water. Now you can see on the screen there are different layers of the sand and the gravel. So the water passes into the filtration tank where if any of the solid particles present, so it can be removed by the filtration tank. Chlorination is the next unit. In this step the water now looks very clear, but it still consists of a lot of germs, bacteria, viruses that are even too small to be filtered out. So we need a chlorine gas. We need a small doses of the chlorine gas, and we add the chlorine gas into the water to kill these germs, bacteria and viruses. In some areas a chemical called fluoride is also added to water to help prevent the decay. Now the sewage water. Sewage water is also another method. It is basically the waste water, the water that comes from the houses, schools, offices, shops, factories. Basically this water is the unpolluted water, as it may consist of the water, feces, urine, paper, detergents and many waste chemicals. However, we also need a sewage water treatment plant to clean the sewage water. So this plant may consist of the metal screens, grit tanks, sludge removal tank, filter bed tank, methane formation and sludge used as a manure. Now you can see there is a complete diagram of the sewage water treatment plant. Number first unit is the metal screen. When the sewage arrives at the sewage work, any of the large materials present in the water such as racks, cans or pieces of wood, they are removed by the large metal screen. So this is basically the diagram of the metal screen. Now the water is passed into a grit tank. The sewage then flows slowly through a grit tank where if any end of the sand or soil particles, it sinks to the bottom. Now at the end, the sludge is formed. The sludge is basically a thick, soft, wet mud or a mixture of liquid and solid components. Basically, these are the products of an industrial or refining process. Now this is a sludge. After the formation of sludge, the sludge is removed by the electric machinery. Filter bed. Now the remaining liquid sewage is known as the effluent and it is passed into the another unit that is called the filter bed, that is made up of stone, rock or clinker. You can see on the screen. Methane formation. At the end, the sewage sludge is pumped to the other tanks containing different kinds of bacteria, and these bacteria destroy the unpleasant materials in the sludge and change them into a gas which can be used as a fuel. Now in this process, the methane is formed and we can use the methane as a fuel. At the end, the manure sludge is also used as a fertilizer to fertilize the soil. Distillation is another process. However, due to the overpopulation and increasing population day by day, there is a shortage of fresh water and there is the need for more clean water, so it causing problems in many dry regions of the world. So one way to obtain more fresh water is by distillation. This is a similar process as the nature uses to recycle water, that is called the water cycle. One example of this simple distillation is to remove the salt from the seawater to create a pure water. So by this method, we remove the salt from the seawater and to create a pure water. In this process, the water starts to evaporate and the water vapor then cools down to form a pure water. This is a simple process of the simple distillation in which we heat the salt water in the distillation flask and these water molecules evaporate and it enters into the condenser unit where it comes in contact with the cooler water, and these vapors may convert into a liquid state, liquid droplets, and then these liquid droplets falls in the another flask. This water is called the distillate or a pure water. Water cycle is basically the natural cycle in which the water takes from the sea to the sky to the land and back to the sea. So this movement of water around our planet is vital to the life as it supports the plants and animals. Water cycle consists of the following steps. Number 1 is the evaporation, second is the condensation, third is the precipitation. Now you can see on the screen there is a complete cycle of the water process. Now first process is the evaporation. The water from the earth ocean is heated by the sun rays, which causes it to change into a gas and rise into the air. This is called the evaporation. Second process is the condensation. When these molecules move up high in the sky, these gas vapors begins to cool and it comes in contact with the cooler air and turns back into a liquid. This is called the condensation. The water droplets form a clouds in the process of precipitation, which become heavy and fall from the sky in the form of rain, hail and snow. This is called the precipitation. Now you can see there are many desalination plants. The purpose of the desalination plant is to remove the salt from the seawater and to create a pure water by the process of distillation method. But there are some problems with the desalination. It is not cheap because it requires large quantities of fuel to heat the seawater. However, the countries having the largest reservoirs of oil may use these desalination methods to remove the salt from the seawater and to create a pure water. So we need the water. We tend to take water for granted. We turn on a tap and we have water to drink or wash with. We flush the toilet and water washes away our waste. But at least 2/3 of the people in the world do not have a tap inside their home. So they have to obtain the water from the tap outside their homes, wells, water holes, streams or rivers. Their toilet may be a bucket and a hole in the ground or a river or a stream, and this water may be polluted because it consists of a lot of poisonous chemicals. So this water is directly passed into the rivers or streams and it may cause many diseases in the living organisms, including aquatic life as well as the human beings who drink this water. So the unwanted substances in the polluted water may also be very harmful to the plants as well as to the animals living in the water as well as to the people living on the land who use the water or come into contact with it. So there are different diseases of the water. The water related diseases are basically the diseases that are spread by the animals such as snails or the parasitic worms, which spend part of their lives in water, or by insects such as mosquitoes which breed in water. So one of the worst water related diseases is schistosomiasis and bilharzia. Now you can see there is a life cycle of the schistosome. Basically this schistosomiasis is spread by the parasitic worms which spend part of their lives in water snail. If any of the human infected feces are passed outdoors anywhere near the water, the worm larvae enter the water snails and multiply in the body of the snail. The worm larvae get into the body of anyone who drink the water, or enter through the skin of anyone washing, swimming, or wading it. So inside the infected person's body, the parasitic worms cause many symptoms including bleeding, pain, coughs, diarrhea, fever, fatigue, sores, and enlargement of the liver and the spleen. Now the other diseases are the water wash diseases. Water wash diseases are the diseases that are spread when the people do not have enough water for washing their hands, for washing the rest of their bodies, and for washing kitchen pots and pans. So these diseases are basically caused by different viruses and bacteria, and they cause many diseases in the living organism, in the humans. These diseases include skin diseases, eye infections, and diarrhea. These are basically the example of illness caused by the bacteria and viruses which spread rapidly when people are short of water. So the one common water wash disease is trachoma, an eye disease which spread rapidly in hot, dry climates when there is a shortage of water. So the disease is caused by a bacterium which scars the eye and eventually cause the blindness in the eye. Thank you.